Share with us, how did this concept came about?
Yeah, I mean, we like to say that talent is evenly distributed, but opportunity isn't. And so, yeah, when we look at communities around this city and beyond, we're really struck by the amount of people with great will, potential, and talent, but who will struggle to ever have that potential fully realized. And so, yeah, 15, 16 years ago, we embarked on trying to do our part to holistically develop elite footballers towards becoming citizens of significance. So that's what we've been about for 15 years, and it's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, it must be fulfilling for you that you see some of these young kids going overseas and becoming, human beings, and you're going more than developing football players.
Right.
Just share with us some of the resources that you had to kind of organize and the structure at the football academy.
Yeah, I mean, so we started off just doing football in 2011 with a group of 11 and 12-year-olds. But very quickly you realize you're not going to accomplish the things you want in their lives if you leave them where they are. So we started sending them to school. But since then it's evolved to, we run our own fully registered and accredited school for grades 7 through 12. We spend a lot of time on the formation of their character, their spiritual life, and their leadership. And then we obviously take the football really seriously. So it's a full-fledged program. It's about 130 kids involved. There's about, in 2026, there'll probably be 80 students at the school, but then we have many teams, that kind of paved the way into the academy, and then we have an ABC Motsepe League team. So from kind of bottom to top, there's about 130 boys and now girls involved.
Yeah, that's good that you've got the girls on board as well, because that means that the project is expanding.
Right.
Will you take us through your strategy? I know at the time you were involved in NFD. What made you change the strategy to kind of look more at an impact base and looking after the development of football players?
Yeah, I mean, we've always been holistic in our nature. We've always been impact first. So we don't really care if a kid becomes a professional or not. If he's a bad person, then we failed. But if he's an amazing human being, it really doesn't matter what his pathway is from our academy. So yeah, the evolution of adding girls has really just been about, we can't really say we're about developing talent if we're ignoring half the population. And so we've taken the risk to do that. And yeah, we've had tremendous success. Our girls finished 5th in the Engine this year with an under 15 team in an under 20 tournament. They won promotion from RWPL to RWL. They scored 152 goals and gave up 2, won every game. So I think we've had really great success. There's been multiple who've already played in national teams and stuff. So we're excited about what the girls have accomplished, and they've benefited by coming into a program that already exists that the boys have paved the way in. But they've really made the school a more lively place. So it's been a great endeavor for us.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what was the reaction and the feedback when you started to include the girls?
Yeah, I think the boys, I mean, they kind of go along with it. I think last year when there was only 5, it was quite hard for those 5. Now that there's 14 in the school, they have their own little gang. They caused enough problems on their own. But it's been really nice. I think it just makes the school more well-rounded and the environment more holistic. So we've really enjoyed it.
Let's talk about the tangible success. Some of the boys that you've sent, overseas, maybe through a scholarship or maybe signing a contract overseas. I think we've heard some good stories coming through there.
Yeah, well, we've sent over, I think we're now up to 25 who've gone to the U.S. on scholarships. Some of them have graduated from university already. Some are back in South Africa. Some are still working that side. We've had more than 30 play in professional teams here and abroad. There's 4 playing in Europe. The biggest success is Menashe Garananga, who's playing Champions League at FC Copenhagen in Denmark. So we've had a lot of success. I mean, even in this sort of time period, the under-20 World Cup squad is happening. There's 4 Ubuntu players, or old boys, who are in that squad. Really, all 4 of them came from really the deep South Valley, so Fisher, Komaki, Masi, Ocean View, and Westlake. And so it's pretty remarkable to see 4 of, I think it's a squad of 21 coming from a tiny little part of the world. We just had 3, I guess, who won AFCON with under-17s, or COSAFA with under-17. So yeah, we've had a lot of success on the field, a lot of success in the classroom, and a lot of success off the field in general ways.
Indeed. It feels like yesterday when we had the Lazolas playing for Ubuntu Academy, as well as Menashe, all these boys that have,
Right.
Antonio van Veek as well, who's now playing overseas.
Yeah.
So this has been really a successful project. And talk about you talked about some of the communities that you've touched. You are now going through trials and you're going around the country. I mean, you've been in Khayelitsha recently.
Yeah, so we've changed our sort of trialing process this year. We had 4 open trials, but ahead of the school holiday. So we were in Khayelitsha and Guguletu in Mitchell's Plain and in Lansdowne, Chucker Road area. And yeah, I think we saw over 2,700 kids from kind of 8 to 12 years old. And then they will be fighting for about 10, 12 places per age group. We also had a trial in Port Elizabeth. We're having one this weekend in Johannesburg. So we really started to kind of expand the reach because we really want to find the kind of the best mix of a student and a player because we believe when we take that mix and mix it with the things that we're going to invest in them, we're going to have a really special recipe for amazing results. And yeah, we're seeing the fruit of that, but actually we think we're about to get a whole lot better.
Yeah, indeed. If someone wants to invest, I mean, you might be having some partners on board as well, but if there are more people who would like to invest into the product, what would you say to those?
Yeah, I mean, we've had amazing support, kind of corporate and foundational support here in South Africa from Alan Gray, from the Clicks Helping Hands Trust, from the Makwande Empowerment Trust. Those are kind of our 3 biggest partners. We have a lot of sort of medium-sized corporate sponsors as well. So we'd love to get involved with them. We can help you with their BE scorecard. But you're also going to have amazing stories and clear metrics. Like we measure the stuff, we know we're having success. We use the money really well, and so we think we're very fundable. So we'd love more corporates to get involved. We even just had a corporate 5-a-side function this weekend with about 19 different corporates who played, and they played with our kids. So our kids were all on their teams. So it was Sanlam Investments for Signia, but it included Ubuntu boys and girls on their team. So yeah, we'd love to have more people get involved. As individuals, as corporates, as companies, as foundations. So yeah, we're very nonprofit and we need all of their support to keep this thing going.